Welcome once again to Frankly Speaking. My name is Onkgopotse JJ Taban. We're coming to you live from Auckland Park here in Johannesburg. Thank you so much for your comments on the show. It's been a couple of weeks of a very good run. By the way, Frankly Speaking, not a one-man show at all. And I want to tonight acknowledge the team behind it all. Ausilebu, Ausilivu, Abutinyana, and Frank. Can you believe the director of this show is called Frank? Hey? Unbelievable stuff. But thank you so much to the crew for making this so comfortable and easy to do. The ANC took a battering at the 2016 local government elections. One of his top guns, the charismatic Fikile Mbalula, has been relieved of his cabinet post to become its elections head. He is no stranger to the task of a heavily contested election. In 2009, he led the ANC against the Cope factor. And now he's faced in the next election with the EFF and DA factors. And next year is going to be an interesting election with him at the helm of that project. But can the ANC recover from the decline in electoral confidence that was a reflection of these last local government elections? Many are saying that the election of Cyril Ramaphosa in Nasrec has brought it back from the precipice. Ramaphosa has launched a new dawn under the theme Tumamina, Send Me. And this weekend the ANC launched it as its battle cry, official battle cry, going into the next elections that is about a year away. The ANC also held a land summit this weekend. Land is going to be a big election issue. And many people are saying, oh, this thing of land about the ANC is all an electoral, a gimmick, really. And it is being done because of the elections fever. Well, we will see how this gets explained to us tonight. But let's see how this cookie crumbles.
We know that today is about Tumamina. We are about solving people's problems and solving and fixing them throughout the period in our national conference in Nasrec. We have been witnessing, whether people like it or not, a renewed sense of hope in our movement. Many people in our country have been feeling more hopeful about the ability of the ANC to transform the quality of life of our people. Well,
the question is it really a new dawn, and what does it really mean? Tumamina, how does it affect you and I tonight? To help me understand how the ANC intends through this Tumamina campaign to regain the electorate's trust, my guest tonight is Mr. Razmataz himself, ANC's elections head, Fikile Mbalula. Let's go talk frankly to him. Welcome, Chief.
Good evening
to you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for making the time to join me here. You've been quite busy since you were assigned to this new responsibility. How are you feeling about it? I mean, a lot of people are wondering, and there's lots who are tweeting today to say, do you feel this was a demotion of some sort? Were you consulted to do this? Or it was one of those things where you just say, well, whatever the ANC wants me to do?
No, we're over that. I'm upbeat. We're focused on the task. We're getting ourselves ready. And we take this task very seriously. And we have an excellent team. What is important about the election campaign is a teamwork.
Yeah.
And I'm having confidence in the team that we've got and that we're building. And we're supercharged and focused.
In this being supercharged, how would you summarize for me what are the reasons for the ANC's poor performance at the local government elections of 2016? Just 2 or 3 big things, because once you diagnose that, one assumes that you're going to build from there for the national government. What are the 2 or 3 big themes in your view that you would use as a reflection of that performance of 2016 local government elections?
There were bad decisions that we took in relation to the timing of the election and the campaigning period. We campaigned for a very long time. And we ran a campaign, but not so much a good campaign. We were trailing the opposition heavily, as though, the public perception about the ANC. Corruption, its president heavily attacked. and under scrutiny in the campaign, not about the issues of the campaign, but about leadership. So that also dealt as a blow, particularly in peri-urban areas. The third part is the question of intra-organizational squabbles that led to explosion in cities like Tshwane, Port Elizabeth. Literally every place was burning. Contestation about candidates. That dealt as a blow because our candidates were endorsed with public scrutiny and support. And some of our not so overzealous individuals, mischievous, anarchists, they changed lists and all of that. That kept us resolving our issues more
of your internal issues.
And the opposition had a holiday because they were just riding on all of these things.
It looks like that story is sort of modified as you go along, because there was a lot of defensiveness when you ask people, why did you perform so bad? They'll say, no, people stayed at home, it was too cold. You know, things that are devoid of substance, right? Are you saying that there's a clear message now that says we've got to fix things like corruption, for example? So corruption is a big electoral issue. What can you tell the public that would say ANC is going to get on top of this corruption thing very fast?
We don't need to explain ourselves if there is a perception out there that there is corruption in government. Society wants to see us dealing with corruption. That's what we need to do. And do practical things and simplify everything else. Don't be too bookish about issues that affect people. If you identify one issue that there is corruption, be simplistic. When I was in the police, I said there is a perception that police are corrupt, police are not doing their work, they are lax and all of that. You don't stay in a boardroom and argue with society. Let's do things that society, the last person on the ground will say that, there are difficulties, but they are doing their job.
I want to talk exactly after the break about exactly what are these practical things, right, that you are going to do, that you are doing now, that would give the public a sense that a new dawn is upon us, especially when dealing with issues of corruption, because I think we need to spend some time on that. You are on Frankly Speaking. I'm talking to Razmataz himself, the head of ANC election, and we are talking about how Tumamina is affecting you and I tonight. Stay tuned. You can follow us on hashtag Frankly Speaking. Tweet us at JJ Tabani at Frankly Speaking.
Team Huddle. Huddle? But we lost. This isn't a loss, it's a practice for winning.
Nothing makes a mother prouder than seeing her child growing up. But I know as he learns to lead, he'll face even more dirt, germs, and the risk of illness.
That's why in changing seasons, you need strong Dettol protection. Because Dettol cleans and protects against 100 illness-causing germs.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
Be Dettol sure this cold and flu season, and you could win a house with 1 million rand and daily cash prizes.
Zama and Zanele may be identical, but they couldn't be more different. Until now. Because when it comes to choosing a mild, creamy tasting mayonnaise, they agree it has to be New Cross and Blackwell Creamy. Introducing New Cross and Blackwell Creamy Mayonnaise with a mild, creamy taste.
Traditional aerosols contain a lot of water, which eventually falls down and spoils the experience. Introducing Airwick Pure with 9 times more fragrance and no added water. So you can experience great fragrance with no wet spray. Airwick Pure, just fragrance, no wet spray. Airwick Pure is also available in Freshmatic. Keep your home fresh all day with automatic bursts of fragrance. Airwick Freshmatic, now available in Pure.
When it comes to your dry skin or eczema, trust E45. It's suitable for the whole family. E45's clinically proven formula creates an effective barrier that helps repair and protect even eczema-prone skin. E45, for healthy feeling skin.
I hate finding a stain after I wash, especially these tough ones. I have to wash over again. What?
It's just my clothes are spotless.
How?
Well, washing powder alone can't remove all stains.
Simply add 1 scoop of Vanish Power O2 powder to your usual detergent. Its Power Lift formula contains oxy action to remove even tough stains.
Impossible. I can't believe that the stain is really gone.
It's possible with Vanish.
Trust Pink. Forget stains.
Welcome back to Frankly Speaking. With me on Khopotse, JJ Tawan. We're coming to you live from Auckland Park here, the SABC. And my guest tonight, Mr. Razmatas. Corruption, a big thing. I think this thing has been acknowledged by the ANC as being a serious matter. In fact, in Mangaung, we set up an integrity commission precisely to deal with this. And I'm sure you and I will agree that's been quite toothless in the time that it existed. That's why the NGC and at NASREC, there was a discussion about strengthening it. What are the practical things you're going to do to send a message to society that you are going to be on top of corruption in particular?
Like I said before the ad break, corruption, you don't deal with it by you become practical.
Yeah.
If there are perceptions in society, it means the people who are at the helm of leadership.
Yeah.
Yes, they must be above reproach, but those who are implicated, the integrity of the ANC.
Yeah.
If it is affected, the ANC must be able to take decisions. And I can tell you now that once we establish the new integrity commission, because that one before NASREC, I mean, it was there, but we have been guided by the national conference to establish an integrity commission with certain powers.
What does Tuma Mena say about corruption, Balule? Because people are worried that even in the new dawn, and we know it's only been 5 months, right? There are certain things that were worrisome. I mean, you look at the Duduzi Manana thing, right? Forget about the latest case where he's beating up a domestic worker. The first one, where he's found guilty, right? Pays a fine, but still, one, stands for the NEC. Nobody says, no, Chief, why don't you stand aside a little bit on this? 2, he goes and still remains a member of parliament. How can you convince me that that issue is not an example of things just carrying on, where we're afraid to deal with comrades who are actually giving the ANC a bad name?
No, we have to be consistent, JJ, and that's what is important. It's not going to help us to be pussyfooting on some of these issues. Whoever it affects, sometimes it affects even the people you love in the organization. But we've got to be consistent. If you do things that are out of way, you must know that there will be consequences. And acting speed and faster and practically with corruption is what is going to help us change the perception. I'm not going to give you, a recipe. The only recipe here that we've got is that we've got to be decisive. And society must...
But you have not been on the Manana thing, let's face it. I mean, it's really a terrible thing, and it's carrying on. And in fact, the second incident shows that this was a slap in the wrist. The guy thought, I'll just carry on with my life. I've paid the 100,000. Bribe somebody else with that 100,000. What's going on there? Because it's giving you a bad name at the moment.
There are disciplinary processes and there are issues of integrity. So the new NEC, in this coming NEC, must expedite the establishment of the Integrity Commission. So that the Integrity Commission can say that, Mbalula, what you are doing affect the integrity of the movement, and we recommend this action immediately.
But it's not a priority, surely. It's 5 months after the conference has said that you need a new Integrity Commission. Then these issues pile up. Your own spokesperson now is in front page of newspapers, defending himself half the time instead of defending the ANC. Now he's implicated in things. And because you haven't dealt with these things that accumulate, people just said, it's the ANC. They're not going to do anything about these guys. They're just going to carry on, And then you've got, on top of your list of things to watch, the whole issue of the state capture commission that is going to be parallel with your election campaign. How do you plan to arrest this ongoing perception that the new dawn is not so new after all, especially on the issue of corruption and integrity?
No, we have established the commission. The commission must work, and we are not afraid. And we've got a judge who's overseeing that work, and that is part and parcel of the new processes, even post-NASREC. Immediately, the commission was established, the judge appointed, terms of reference finalized. It must work. We are, in fact, eager to get it going. so that we're able to put this aside. But that commission will go even beyond elections, if you look at in terms of its time frames. So we're quite eager, and we don't think it will affect us in relation to the campaign. Of course, there will be some of the members of the ANC who will go in and out of that commission, explaining themselves, which is important. If ever they are implicated in things that they need to explain themselves in the context of this state capture.
Do you think that some of the people who have been heavily implicated, like our friend, Minister of Home Affairs, our friend Minister Mutambi, is there a way in which you could appeal to these guys to step aside already? Because imagine if they are implicated in the middle of your election campaign. Is there that kind of appetite to do more introspection rather than wait to have findings by courts like we've seen in the last 10 years, findings by commissions and so on that waste money of the public? Is there a part of you that wants to do that instead?
No, we can't do that, and we can't lie to our people. And basically do shortcuts, because question of litigation in relation to these matters means individuals can defend themselves. The question for the ANC is about its integrity. To say that, how far does this thing affect our integrity? How do we deal with it? So the Integrity Commission will advise on those issues, but you can't just say to people, step aside and so on. You need to examine.
So the issue of conscience, remember part of what we were discussing, Mangaunga, you say, if a comrade is implicated, they must step aside so that the ANC is not dragged down with them. And let's look at the example of Nkandla, for example, right? There was a report, right, by the public protector. If the Jacob Zuma had agreed to actually do what that report was saying within a month to even 3 months, right? The type of negative aura that was surrounding the ANC around Nkandla would have been avoided. And that's why I'm asking whether, are you looking at other strategies rather than wait and see and hope for the best that you are not going to be implicated in the commission? Do you think that's something that is workable for just to create a sense of new confidence or not?
Like I said, that the Integrity Commission is important in this instance. With regard to Nkandla, we have had a lot to learn about it. And the ANC admitted that we did everything wrong in relation to Nkandla, and that we could have done things slightly different. And we agreed on that. And when the matter was closed and the courts were very harsh on us, that's the part we admitted. And we have learned from that particular era, and it must fit into today. Of course, the Integrity Commission, when it gets established by the NEC, this coming NEC, will be in a position with clear terms of reference to attend to these issues and sort them out on time.
The ANC over the last 3 years have voted at least on 2 occasions in Parliament against the resolution of land, expropriation of land without compensation, right? Clearly now this is a new dawn. Because not only did the ANC now adopt this resolution at its conference, but it voted for a motion not brought by itself to Parliament. I would like you to analyze for me what changed on the issue of land after the break. We're talking to Fikile Mbalula, the head of ANC elections. And after the break, we talk about issues of land. The ANC having a land summit this weekend to try and clarify how this thing is going to pan out going forward. You can follow us on hashtag Frankly Speaking. Let's take a break.
Jacob's magical aroma has a special power to open your eyes to possibility. Dream with your eyes open.
I've been looking at you from across the way, and I think about you almost every day. Ooh, it's gonna be perfect, it's gonna be worth it, it's gonna be
It's the rich flavor of Knorr that brings people together.
Come on, pedal!
That's what I'm doing!
To the left! No, to the right!
I can do it! Let me go!
Guys, sandwiches! Sometimes all they need is a break and great tasting sandwiches with Rama, because Rama now contains 9 vitamins and omega-3 that kids need for healthy growth and development.
Shall we try again, Dad?
Okay. Sweetheart, look! She can do it!
Get them ready with Rama.
Silence, ladies and gentlemen. Quiet, please.
Suffering from back pain? Apply Voltaren ML Gel. Unlike heat rubs that work on the skin surface, Voltaren ML Gel is a clinically proven anti-inflammatory medicine which penetrates through the skin. It relieves pain, treats inflammation and speeds healing. Voltaren ML Gel, the world's #1 medicated gel.
Oh, get ready for this crazy bunch.
Trending SA!
And their shenanigans. For your social media updates.
If you don't have no money, take your broke donkey home. Bam, bam, boom. It's Common.
Check out Trending SA, Mondays to Thursdays, 10:30 on 3. The stage is yours.
Welcome back to Frankly Speaking. You can follow us on #FranklySpeaking. You can tweet us at JJ Tabani at SABC News Online. A lot of commentary on Twitter. I won't be able to go through all of it. But Sizwe Bay on Twitter says, Tumamina, wasn't that the president's campaign to get the country back to its track after the disastrous JZ? Why has ANC hijacked this campaign as their own for electioneering? So if you can address that, the Tumamina thing, what is the rationale behind it? And then also he's saying, is this not an issue of the separation of party and state once again being blared? And then secondly, somebody, Renee Simenya says, social media is a powerful tool if managed correctly. There are a few incidences where you made a total blunder as the head of the police on Twitter, and that should be used as a case study for media studies. You are not as bad as Donald Trump, but it can escalate to such levels. And they want to know, why do you like blocking people? Can you please unblock a few people tonight as a peace offering when you leave this set? Just those two quickly before we get back to Leland.
No, I've given people amnesty. I give them from time to time, particularly those who are not interested in issues, but who are personal. So personal attacks are not assisting a discourse. Sure. But there are hard issues we deal with, and we're there. I mean, we stick out. We come from the roast. We get roasted. So we've got thick skin. Okay. That's one. Two, with regard to Tumamina is an ANC
party
contribution.
And state.
No, we are the party that governs, but at the same time, Tumamina calls on all of us. It is not our ownership. We don't have patent rights over that campaign. All what we are saying is that in Tumamina, for us, it is about service delivery.
Okay.
To us, Tumamina means that we must do things, we must fix things. We must be there to lend a hand to help our people. Yeah. It doesn't say, JJ, you can't do Tumamina, you can't do this because now Mbalula runs this thing. Ferial Afeji says that, now Mbalula is running this thing, is hijacking it, is doing this. I'm not. All what we're doing is to say that we are prepared to be sent. And where are we being sent? Where we govern, we are in charge, we are more practical. We're in Eguruleni. Simple things we did. We didn't go only to places where President wanted to see people smiling at him, being nice. We went to areas where there is fire, where communities are protesting. And we went there to say, we'll fix your things. Before we left one area, a shack was burning down. In Tutuza, people don't have electricity. The president was there. We're not going only to places where we are delivering and we want to showcase our work. We want no.
Just quickly on service delivery. I want to zone in on the service delivery thing. If you look at just two quick examples, in Gauteng, 250 million rand rolled over, right, on issues of housing, right? On small business ministry, this is my bugbear. 180 million rand rolled over instead of it being given to small businesses to do what that ministry was set up to do. People then become skeptical when you introduce yet another campaign when those ministers, those MECs must be held to account to make sure that those things, not wait for a check to ban, but actually make sure that they do something. Can you tell me quickly how the Tumamina is going to deal with that kind of lapse in service delivery at the highest levels?
That is exactly the aim of the campaign, and that is what we're demonstrating practically. We get to a space, there is a rollover of money, we unblock. We've got rapid response teams in government that are able to intervene.
Yeah.
Our task as members of the ANC and branches of the movement is to bring governance closer to the people and say that, is money not been spent? Is tenders given? People who are supposed to get housing. These houses, hopefully, is foundations.
Hopefully we'll see
Tumamina is about getting them, say that we want these people arrested on the ground now and then.
We'll have to see whether you would then tell somebody like Minister Zulu that we try to send you and it's not working. People will take it serious. Not another promise. You know what I'm saying? So tell me about land now, quickly. Is this the election ploy by the ANC to try and take the thunder from the EFF? And if not, why is it that the ANC allowed the situation where they support the EFF motion and you didn't bring your own motion 3 months after your conference?
No, it is not about the EFF whatsoever.
At all.
If we agree with some parties, including the EFF, on an important program of land reform, and in particular expropriation without compensation, ANC is not hoodwinked. We didn't have a resolution when the EFF wanted to force us into that. We had a resolution to expropriate state land without compensation. But we didn't have a resolution at that time, and we didn't vote with them. And then they brought it to call a bluff on us. They thought that we were going to run. That was their strategy. We didn't run because it's our resolution.
But why didn't your MPs put a resolution in Parliament at their first available opportunity?
We were going to put up a resolution. It's just that they became, fast forward. And then they wanted to call our bluff. And before they did that, they said that the ANC will see. These are resolutions, because the reason why they came with that, they said, these resolutions are empty. It's just rhetoric. It's just, electioneering.
Do you blame them, though, if you look at free education? The resolution was passed in Polokwane in 2007. It only got implemented last week.
It was not implemented last week. It was a resolution that had to, remember, when you're a governing party, there's a whole lot of things that you look at, particularly on resolutions for implementation. Where will you get the money to do this?
10 years.
No, it is
from resolution to implementation. That cannot be acceptable, Mbalula. 10 years?
No, in 10 years, elements of free education were implemented. Were implemented.
Like bursaries and stuff.
Like bursaries and stuff. We have actually gone an extra mile to be more practical in its implementation. We first had to look as to where we will get the money. Once all of those things are addressed, we actually implement
It's not a bluff. You are going to pass a constitutional amendment before the elections.
It is the Land Summit is about addressing the modalities of the implementation of expropriation. Should we go the constitutional route, or we can do it without that? So wait for us after the Land Summit to tell you how we're going to do it. But it's going to be done. It's not a question of whether we still need it or not.
You must come back for the land details after you tell us what you are
doing. Kotongwana will come back to you and give you the details of the Land Summit.
Thank you so much, Mbalula.
Thank you very much.
It was Mbalula there on Frankly Speaking. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. Until we talk frankly again, God bless you.